Good evening and welcome to the NAACP segment of the nonprofit section of the CAN TV show. My name is Remel and I will be your host tonight. And today we will be discussing the upcoming candidate forum that's being hosted by the Chicago Westside NAACP. The forum will be Saturday, October 20th at Michelle Clark, and it starts at 11 a.m. The invited candidates are all of the gubernatorial candidates as well as the Illinois Attorney General candidates. Our hope is that you all will not only attend, but call in tonight because we want to really hear from you regarding the issues that you want these candidates or the future governor, future attorney general of our state to address. So for many of you who are tuning in, if you're not sure about what the role of the governor is, it's important to understand that the governor is the executive power at the state level. So the governor does not create legislation or pass legislation. What the governor does is sign off on the legislation that is passed by the General Assembly. It's also important to note that the governor is capable of also appointing certain positions, certain cabinet positions, certain head of organization positions as well. Many people unfortunately get confused by this when they assume that the governor can create legislation, but most importantly, those things come through our state senators as well as our state representatives. And so I want to remind you all again of the upcoming candidate forum where you can hear directly from these candidates to discuss the issues that are facing you. So as it relates to our Illinois Attorney General candidates, they are seen as the chief legal officer of our state. And so what does that mean exactly, right? They are responsible for being our attorney over the state's issues. So if there's anything that may be impacting us as consumers, we would reach out to our Attorney General in order to address those concerns. If there are significant issues as it relates to child welfare, we would, reach out to our Attorney General. As many of you may know, if you were tuning in on last week, the Chicago Westside branch is currently a plaintiff in the Campbell suit as it relates to the consent decree. And so as part of that, our Attorney General is the legal entity that oversees that process and helps with the implementation of it for our state as it relates to CPD. There are a lot of other things that are very important to us that we can have the Attorney General candidate address. But it's very important to know who do we address certain concerns to. And so if there's any questions that you may have or any issues that you want to bring up, feel free to give us a call. The number is 312-738-1060. And so if you're tuning in and you want to get more involved with the Chicago Westside Branch NAACP, you can participate in our annual monthly meetings. They're every first Saturday of the month, and they're located at 5820 West Chicago Avenue at Sankofa. And please come out because we want to hear from the community so that we can ensure that we're working on the correct issues and we're ensuring that your voices are heard. We have several committees ranging from political action to housing, education, even veteran affairs. We also have a lot of work that we're currently doing as it relates to the environmental realm and also health. So if any of these interest you, we would love to have you out and joining us, becoming a member. Our membership is only $30 for the year. And so we really want to see more people engaged, educated, and being informed so that we can make the best decisions for our state. So I really want to make sure I reiterate again the upcoming candidate forum that will be this Saturday, next Saturday, October 20th. The location is Michelle Clark High School, address 5101 West Harrison Street, Chicago, Illinois 60644. If you prefer to register online, you can go to our Eventbrite, and if you just look up Chicago Westside NAACP, you will be able to locate our upcoming candidate forum. And so I also want to talk about voting, right? Because we have the upcoming elections on November 6th, for those of you who are not aware, but we've already had early voting that began back on September 27th. So that is where you can go in and vote early if you so choose. And you also can still register to vote all the way through the day of. But it's important to understand that if you register to vote on the day of the election, it will be by provisional ballot, meaning that you'll have to complete a document in order to have your vote registered. So if you are so choosing, it's important to get registered as soon as possible. Unfortunately, actually, October 21st is the last day that you can register to vote online. So if you were not aware, we have, become very technically savvy in our state, and so you can register to vote online, and the address is at the state of Illinois. So if you Google State Board of Elections, you are able to register to vote online. If you're wanting to just register, if you're ever in the vicinity of a courthouse, you can go there to register as well. Also, when you're renewing your licenses at the local DMVs, you can also register there as well. So it's important that you're not only tuning in to shows like this one to learn about the upcoming elections and the roles of the individuals that are on the ballot, you also want to be fully engaged by actually being registered to vote. And if that is something that you want to happen, we do have deputy registrars that are members, and so you can always reach out to the organization and we can get you set up with registering. But it's always important to do it, however it's convenient. There are many places that you can go within your communities, and so I would suggest starting there, but we are here as a resource. And so I want to just remind everyone yet again of our upcoming candidate forum that will be on Saturday, October 20th. Our invited candidates, if you're not aware of everyone who's on the ballot, we have Governor Bruce Rauner, we have J.B. Pritzker, we have Cash Jackson, as well as Sam McCann. And those are all of the individuals that are vying for your vote in the upcoming gubernatorial election. And as it relates to our Illinois Attorney General candidates, we have Senator Kwame Raoul, we have Erica Harold, and then we also have Bubba Harsey. So it's important for you all to research these individuals to figure out what are their platforms, what are they planning on doing to better serve the constituents of this great state. Because as I've already mentioned, the governor's role is really to be the supreme executive power and is responsible for essentially executing the laws. They also are responsible for signing and vetoing any bills that are passed by the legislature. So, as I mentioned, the governor doesn't create the laws. Our state representatives, as well as our senators, are the ones who write and create the laws. And once they vote on those laws and they pass, they go to the governor's desk for signing or vetoing. And currently, we have in the Senate, if you're not aware of our General Assembly, the heads of the state Senate are President John Cullerton. And what's interesting, John Cullerton has been in office since January 14th of 2009. We have the Majority Leader of the Senate, James Claiborne, who has been in that position since November 20th of 2008. We have the Senate Minority Leader, Bill Bradley, who has been in his role since July 1st of 2017. And I also want to reference our House of Representatives just to give you an idea of who the heads of those areas are. So in the House, the Speaker of the House is Michael Madigan, and he's been in that role since January 8th of 1997. Majority Leader Barbara Flynn Curry has been in her role since January 8th of 1997 as well. Minority Leader Jim Durkin has been in his role since August 23rd, 2013. And so these are very experienced individuals who have been in their roles for quite a long time, and it's important that you know who they are and engage with them. If there is certain issues in your community that you want to see addressed, it's important to reach out to them to express those things. If you have a coalition of people who want to tackle a certain issue, it's important to know who those individuals are in the General Assembly that are responsible for ensuring that certain bills get pushed and moved as needed. You want to ensure that you are talking and speaking with the right people to help you get the job done. It's also important to know who your local officials are in your district, in your wards, in your areas to ensure that they are on board as well. And if there's a certain issue, feel free to look into the Chicago Westside NAACP. We have various things that we're currently working on, and if some of those things intrigue you, feel free to join on. Again, I want to remind you that we meet every first Saturday of the month at Sankofa, and the address is 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60651, and our meeting times begin at 1 p.m. We have, again, several committees that you can join in order to get involved, whatever that may be. So if you have a significant education issue that you want to bring up or raise, or you want to talk about how we can implement certain legislation to address that issue, feel free to reach out to us. But in the meantime, the upcoming event that we have that we really want to promote, because we want to see everyone out asking the necessary questions, addressing the necessary issues and concerns to our communities, is our upcoming candidate forum, and it's going to be on Saturday, October 20th. Doors open at 11 a.m. The location is Michelle Clark Magnet High School. Address 5101 West Harrison Street, Chicago, Illinois 60624. And feel free to check out our website, www.chicagowestsidenaacp.org, and follow us on Facebook at Chicago Westside NAACP. And again, the invited candidates for this particular forum that we're hosting on the 20th is inclusive of the gubernatorial candidates, Governor Bruce Rauner, J.B. Pritzker, Cash Jackson, and Sam McCann. The Illinois Attorney General candidates are Senator Kwame Raoul, Erica Harold, Bubba Harsey. So please come out and ensure that your voice is heard, and making sure they know what's on your mind, what issues you're facing in your community, what things are pertinent that they need to address. Because if we're not present to share our concerns, then they fall, no one hears them, they fall on deaf ears. We don't really see any movement or mobility within our communities. And so I want to remind everyone that early voting has already begun. It started on September 27th. However, you can register online all the way through October 21st. November 5th will be the last date for early voting. in the general election. However, there is grace period voting, as I talked about, and you can vote and register and vote the same day of the election, which will be November 6th. So if there's any questions that you all have, anything that you're thinking about, feel free to give me a call. The phone number is 312-738-1060. And again, we're discussing the upcoming elections that include the gubernatorial candidates as well as the Illinois Attorney General candidates. So if you're just joining us, again, I want to just share the role of the governor is to be the executive power across our state and sign off on or pass or sign off on the bills, the legislation that's passed from our General Assembly, as well as has the veto power. As it relates to our Illinois Attorney General candidates, they are the chief legal officers of our state. So essentially the attorney for the entire state. So they tackle so many different issues, as I've already talked about, from child welfare issues to issues with opioid situations, also issues regarding consumer protection. So if there are businesses out here that you feel are predatory toward different consumers, you can report that information to the Attorney General's office, and it's their job to investigate, to, on the behalf, represent us as constituents for this state. And so it's very important that you know that you do have these individuals and that we're actually utilizing these services. Many of them offer so many different services, and so it's important to know all that's out there and reach out to those necessary individuals so that you know that you're not alone. And if you need any help navigating those situations, please reach out to the Chicago Westside NAACP. Again, our website is www.westsidenaacp.org. You can also follow us on Facebook at Chicago Westside NAACP. And it looks like we may have a call. Hello? Okay, I guess not. So we have one. Okay. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good.
Whom do I have this pleasure of speaking with?
You are speaking to Alex Lyons.
Hi, Alex. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, all's well with you today?
All is well. Very busy day, but all is well. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain.
Okay, so what would you like to hear? What issue would you like addressed from the gubernatorial or attorney general candidates?
From the gubernatorial candidates, I really need to hear more about their plans for inner city development. I mean, I've heard so much about taxes and immigration and blah, 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 but neither one is really given a plan about how they want to help the youth and even help businesses in the inner city. Governor has a lot of power as it relates to at least giving ideas for how he wants to have an agenda to steer state programs for helping our youth. And also, in my mind, he can help bring upon new leadership by picking inner city individuals, whether if it's youth or even business owners, to sit on the various committees that he has access to as governor. And neither one has really mentioned that in any debate. Neither one has mentioned that in any commercials. Governor Rauner really has not publicized who he's been pushing for those committees in the past few years. And Pritzker has just been running commercials. He hasn't really done anything as far as stating how he wants to fill those vacancies on those committees to help bring in new ideas and new blood.
Okay, so those are some very great issues that you brought up, especially with engaging our youth as well as these business owners, because I do believe and and the NAACP Westside branch believes that economics is definitely something that is important to our communities and something that we need more of. We need individuals that are willing to bring those things to the forefront and to the table and allowing us to access all that's out here, because it hasn't been something that we've been able to engage. So what's your piece regarding the Attorney General candidates?
Well, I mean, the Attorney General candidate is one. Your average person really does not, sad to say, does not know fully what the Attorney General does, and I think really they need to just, when they come to the debates, need to fully explain how their job interacts with Westsiders. I mean, just say you prosecute cases on behalf of the general public, going after people. That's one thing, but people need to understand how does that position benefit us. And just speaking to various people, people don't understand how the Attorney General is a muscle for the basic Joe Blow on the street. They just think it's almost a wasted attorney. It's just another attorney doing whatever, and they really need to see the connection between what he does or what he or she does to what the average person, quote unquote, in the hood wants to do, or how they're being protected by that individual.
And I definitely agree. That's a very important piece that you brought up, which is why early on I was ensuring that I was sharing what their roles are in all of the various services and encouraging people to really check out all of the services that they offer and utilize them to the fullest extent, because our tax dollars are paying for those offices. And so we want to ensure that we're fully engaged in all that they have to offer, because as you stated, many people may not have access to an attorney, but you have the Attorney General who serves as your muscle, as you stated, to really help you navigate whatever your legal issue may be. So will you be attending the upcoming forum on Saturday, October 20th, Alex?
I most definitely will.
Well, that is awesome. I look forward to seeing you there. And please share and encourage other people to attend. Thank you so much for calling.
No problem. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Do we have any other calls? Okay. So I want to remind everyone again, our upcoming forum is going to be Saturday, October 20th. Doors open at 11 a.m. The location is Michelle Clark Magnet High School. The address is 5101 West Harrison Street, Chicago, Illinois 60644. Our website is www.chicagowestsidenaacp.org. And it's important, I keep reiterating the same thing because I want people who are joining on who may not be aware of who's running for office, which oftentimes happens. The current candidates for gubernatorial are Governor Bruce Mariner, J.B. Pritzker, Cash Jackson, and Sam McCann. The Illinois Attorney General candidates are Senator Kwame Raoul, Erica Harold, and Bubba Harsey. So you really want to make sure that you are in attendance, especially if you reside on the west side of Chicago. But everyone on any side of Chicago is welcome to come out, because we want these candidates to know what our issues are. We want to hear how they plan on addressing our issues, and whoever we're going to decide on who receives our vote. Again, if you want to come to our monthly meetings, they are every first Saturday of the month, and the location is 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60651. And they begin at 1 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a good night.